Before God leads you into the greatest season of your life, He sends warning signs, not loud ones, not obvious ones, but quiet signals that most people can feel yet never recognize. And now comes the part that should immediately get your attention. The very thing you're calling the worst season of your life, your hardest battle, or your most confusing moment, could actually be the final sign that your breakthrough is closer than ever before. Most believers completely miss this. They give up 3 days before the miracle. They stop one sign before the breakthrough and spend the rest of their lives wondering why the blessing never came. Today, I'm going to show you 7 signs that God always reveals before a major breakthrough. By the end of this video, you will recognize at least one of these signs that is happening in your life right now. If you believe that God is about to do something great in your life, write this in the comments. Lord, I am ready for my breakthrough. Let's begin. Sign 1. The attacks suddenly increase. Have you noticed that the moment you became serious about God, everything suddenly became harder? Old problems came back. People who were never a problem suddenly became one. Listen carefully. The enemy does not waste ammunition on people who are going nowhere. He does not attack a stationary target. The intensity of the spiritual battle in your life is directly connected to the greatness of the purpose God has for your life. When Pharaoh heard that a deliverer had been born, he ordered the killing of the babies. When Jesus was born, Herod tried to kill him before he had even performed a single miracle. The enemy attacks before the world recognizes the calling. So if your life suddenly became more difficult after you drew closer to God, recognize what is really happening. That resistance is one of the clearest signs that you're moving towards something the enemy fears greatly. Sign 2. A strange spiritual exhaustion. You begin praying more and drawing closer to God, but instead of feeling lighter, you feel completely exhausted. The enemy whispers, if you were truly close to God, you wouldn't feel this way. But spiritual growth is spiritual work. A woman who is about to give birth is often at her most exhausted just before delivery. That exhaustion is not a sign that something is wrong. It is a sign that something is about to be born. Galatians 6-9 says, "Let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up." Weariness comes right before the harvest. You do not grow tired when you're moving away from your breakthrough. You grow tired when you're moving toward it. Sign 3. The people closest to you begin to pull away. Just before a major breakthrough, God often allows separation. Friends become distant. People you expected to celebrate with you may suddenly be unable to stand being around you. But what if that loneliness is not punishment, but preparation? God said to Abraham, "Leave your country, your relatives, and your father's household." Before the blessing came, there was separation. Joseph could not become the man who would save entire nations, as long as he was surrounded by brothers who despised his dream. Some people are only meant to walk with you for a season, not all the way to your destination. If this reminds you of someone who has recently drifted away from you, then subscribe to our channel and write, "Lord, I trust your timing," because the next 4 signs are the ones almost no one talks about. Sign 4. Your old prayers seem to go unanswered. You pray, and it feels as though your words hit the ceiling and fall back to the ground. Heaven feels like brass, but God's silence does not mean God's absence. When Lazarus became sick, Jesus waited 2 more days while Lazarus died. To Mary and Martha, it felt like abandonment. But Jesus was not late. He was preparing a resurrection. When God is silent, He is not ignoring you. He is preparing something greater for you. His silence is not rejection, it is renewal. Sign 5. You lose interest in the things you used to love. The people you used to spend time with suddenly feel unfamiliar. The things that once excited you no longer have the same appeal. This discomfort with your old life is not depression, it is detachment. God is loosening your grip on the old so He can fill your hands with something new. Before new wine is poured in, the old wineskin must be set aside. Sign 6. Unexplainable peace in the middle of chaos. The bills are still unpaid. The situation still seems hopeless. And yet, you are filled with a peace that cannot be explained by logic. Philippians 4:7 calls it, "The peace of God, which surpasses all understanding." It does not have to make sense, it comes before the answer arrives. When the disciples were in the boat during the storm, Jesus was asleep. He was completely at peace because He already knew how it would end. If you're experiencing that unexplainable peace right now, embrace it. That peace is confirmation that your breakthrough has already been settled in heaven. Sign 7. You feel it before you see it. Nothing has changed on the outside, but deep within you, something has already shifted. That is faith. Hebrews 11:1 says, "Now faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen." Elijah heard the sound of a mighty rain long before a single cloud appeared in the sky. He declared it because he heard it in the Spirit before he saw it with his natural eyes. First comes the inner conviction. Then comes the visible fulfillment. These 7 signs are not a coincidence. The increasing attacks, the exhaustion, the separation, the silence, the loss of interest in old things, the unexplainable peace, and that deep knowing in your spirit, they are not signs that God has abandoned you. They are signs that God is about to move. The enemy's greatest weapon is convincing you to give up just before your breakthrough. But now you know better, so hold on, no matter what you're going through today. Do not stop praying one prayer before the answer comes. Do not quit one step before the door opens. If this message has touched your heart, write this in the comments. Lord, I receive my breakthrough. And if you know someone who is on the verge of giving up, share this video with them today. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel so we can continue growing together in biblical wisdom every day. God bless you from the bottom of my heart, my brother, my sister. Until next time.